Yeah, so it hit me pretty bad. Would you mind telling us, if it's not too painful, how you found out he passed away?
Well, actually, I have a cabin up in the mountains here, and I was up there on my kids were pretty young still. In fact, I adopted a little girl from China that summer, right after that.
Oh, how is she doing, by the way? That's the one that had the accident.
She's doing fine. She's doing really good. She's, you know what? It's all little kids are very resilient, and they break their arm or do whatever they do, and it's like they're back out doing the same thing a little later on. But she's fine. Thanks for asking.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anyway, I was up in the mountains, and my brother called me at about it was about 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, and I answered the phone, and I knew that he wouldn't be calling me. I can't tell what I thought, but I knew he wouldn't be calling me with good news at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so he and I talked on the phone for 15 or 20 minutes, and cried on each other's shoulder over the phone. But it was a quite sad time because it was quite unexpected. He was in pretty decent health. He had a small heart issue that we really didn't think would be ever amount to anything. And
is that what really ended up? Was it his heart?
I think he had a stroke or a heart attack in the middle of the night, and he worked the night before.
I remember I heard it came over the. I don't know if I saw it on the TV or the radio, but you know how stuff sort of trickles out little by little after something happens, with somebody important like that, and your dad certainly was. But they had talked to some of the people that were there that night, and they said that they had driven down from, I don't know if it was Oregon or Washington, but they drove a long way. And your dad had decided he wasn't feeling well. He wasn't going to do the show tonight. He was just going to, after he ate dinner. And he met him in the parking lot, and then they talked to him and told him, I guess, where they came from. And he said, well, if they came that far, I'm going to go in and try to do a show. And I just thought that was like, that showed just like what kind of man he was right there in his character.
Well, that's a great point, because that is a true story, and you're absolutely right about that. He was a kind man. He was very generous and kind, very thoughtful. And when he found out that it was actually a bus that had driven down, and their main reason for coming to California was to come to Bakersfield and see Buck Owens, and they got there late. I think they got there, he was going to leave, it was just before 7:30 when he was supposed to go on, and they were just filing in, and we found out about it, and he told his people that were going to give him his ride home and stuff, that said, I got to go in, I can't let these people drive all that way and expect them to see me, and now they've seen me, and surely I can raise up enough energy to go do a show tonight. So he did. He went out and he performed for about an hour and 15 minutes. Did a good show and went home and died that night in his sleep.
Yeah, well, I mean, probably because I remember hearing that I read later on that he ended up having his favorite dinner that night. He liked the chicken fried steak and the French fries, and so he had his favorite meal, and he performed a show, and it's sort of a good way to go, I guess, if you have to go.
Yeah, I talk a lot about that, and I don't know where you heard that, but that's a story that I sort of tell on stage occasionally. That he did. He had everything that he wanted. He performed. That was something he enjoyed probably as much as anything in the world, is performing for people who appreciated his music and appreciated what he was doing, and all the hard work that he had put into it. And and had the meal that he loved so much, and that was he loved a chicken fried steak, and when I go over there, my wife lets me have 2 a year, so that's about it. But then he went home and got in bed, had a night's sleep, and God took him at that time.
And I'm not exactly. It could have been. I heard you say it in an interview or something, or part of or maybe one of the band members. But I don't remember exactly where I heard, but I remember hearing that story. So yeah. I thought I'd mention that because it does seem kind of poetic in a way, for someone that lived his life by poetry, in its form of song. And I wanted to ask you this, buddy, and I've heard that the Crystal Palace has a recording of every show that Buck ever gave there. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but if it is, I'm wondering, will these ever be released, any of these live recordings?
I don't know. I don't know if they recorded every one or not, but we have recording facilities, and I don't know if they're all still available, but, that might be something that that the foundation, the Crystal Palace is owned by the Buck Owens American Music Foundation, and it's really to promote country music, Buck Owens music, Bakersfield sound music, and so at one point maybe they will put a collection of the DVDs of some of him singing occasionally when he's having a really great night, and put them out for sale somewhere.
Well, because I'm not sure, this is sort of where I was leading up to this, but I'm not sure exactly how somebody, I don't know if they got smuggled out or what, but a former employee, but there are about like 5 or 6 YouTube videos of your dad performing from the Crystal Palace, and they're not just like, cell phone quality or low camera.
No, they do have them, and they did sell them occasionally, and I just don't know if they sell them on a regular basis. I know they used to. I don't know if they still do or not.
Yeah, because
the same with mine. You can buy them. Like if you go to the show and you like what you saw, you had fun and whatever, and then you can half hour later they'll usually have them for sale.
Oh, from the same show. I didn't. So maybe this was. Oh, so that explains sort of how someone could have had a copy from like 2004, and they might not have it now.
Yeah, that's where they got them. They
didn't realize that.
They did sell them on a occasional basis. I don't think they put them every one of them out there. They may put one a month or something out, and just so they'll be a little different.
Yeah, because I know that he had some trouble with throat cancer, and he did have a stroke at one point, but he could still sing, just as or small stroke. He could still sing. I mean, his voice was just wonderful, and he used to take requests. I understand. He said that we know. I heard part of the clip was he said we know a lot of songs between us. This isn't like a normal show, but if we know the song, we'll sing it for you. So he did this great version of "He Stopped Loving Her Today," and. Someone in the comments wrote, "I didn't think anyone but George could sing that song, but Buck Owens proved me wrong."
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so it was just because he didn't go back into the studio after the early '90s, did he? Or is there some sort of secret project out there that's hidden?
No. He had a small studio at his house, and there are a couple of things that are that were done that he has voice tracks on. That aren't complete, and at one point maybe we'll try to put some of them together in a collection and put those out for sale.
No, buddy, you've been really great to spend. I know we've gone way over the hour that I told you that we'd probably do. I just enjoyed talking with you so much, but I wanted to before we let you go and we get off the air. I wanted to ask you about. How you started to perform back at the Crystal Palace, because I understand that you never actually performed there as a featured act before your dad died.
That is true. I went there a few times. Like I said, I lived in Arizona, and rarely did we go to Bakersfield.